Labendare is a game making competition where you have to make a game from scratch in 48 or 72 hours. After that, everyone can rate everyone's game. It's lots of fun, you have a prototype with real feedback afterwards, so it's totally worth it. There are two main categories you can join. There's the Kupo, where you have 48 hours, must work alone and must make all assets within the time frame. On the other hand, there's also the Jam, where you have 72 hours, can work in a team and can use any pre-existing assets you already have. The Labendare theme for this time was Stuck in a Loop. The first thing that came to mind when I heard this theme was a story-focused platformer, where when you reach the end the story or the level repeats over and over until you break the cycle or something, kinda like Raid. But then I thought this idea might be too long and take too much time to implement in the time frame that Labendare gives. So for my next day I had to think smaller. I came up with the idea of an hyper-casual style game. The theme reminded me of the game A Dance with Fire and Ice, and I thought about how I could make this into a hyper-casual game. After a lot of head scratching, I came up with the idea that the player moves along a circle, and when you tap, you create a new circle the player follows. Then you have to avoid enemies and obstacles and reach the end. Also I had the idea of an endless mode, but I later scrapped this idea because of time constraints. This initial concept was actually implemented quite fast. You move along a circle when you tap, I do a bunch of math, figure out where the new circle needs to be, put the player there and then continue to move you along the new circle. Made some levels with this where you just have to avoid enemies and obstacles, but this felt kind of boring after a while. I thought that the player also should be able to attack the monsters. But this put me in a tricky spot because I still wanted to retain the one button movement system. In the end I decided that the player has to capture the bullets from the enemies and throw them back at them. This felt alright for the time, but now I think another system would probably have been better. But regardless of this fact, I continued to make some more levels. I also implemented a new enemy, I called him Thing. It's a combination of the words fire and angry, because he looks like a flame and is always angry at you. Shoots arrows at you and you can capture them to throw them back at him and defeat him. Now in the end I didn't have that much time to implement too many more enemies and make tons of levels. I only had enough time to implement a snake-like enemy, but the levels I made with him were still interesting I think. The idea of an endless mode also had to get scrapped for the same reason. You always end up with more ideas than you can implement in a Labendare, that's just how it is. Now I think my final game is still quite good and you almost can't see the corners I had to cut. If you want to play my Labendare submission, I'll put a link to it in the video description. Otherwise that's it from me. Thanks for watching.